What are we talking about today?
Hello, everybody, and welcome to What Are We Talking About? Today, we're talking about Cabin in the Woods. It's a classic that actually Logue showed me a couple years ago now. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Year or two. And I totally, because of the marketing, thought that it was, like probably most people before it came out, just a horror movie about a cabin in the woods. But oh my god, this movie is so much better than just a horror movie about a cabin in the woods.
I almost like how they did the marketing on. Like, I'm almost glad they didn't reveal what the movie was actually about.
Yeah.
Because going into the movie, you're just like, oh, it's gonna be your typical teen slasher, and then like, it's something else. Like, it's the themes, the metaphors and everything they have in this movie is just awesome.
Basically the whole movie is just an entire metaphor.
It's basically an entire metaphor that
where the gods are us.
The gods are actually us, the audience.
The tributes are just movies, right? And actors and stuff, right?
It's almost like, because all the countries do it, and like, they basically control. They're puppet masters, and they control these events of, I guess, like, basically what they're doing is that they've created every horror movie that we've ever seen or whatever, and that the ancient ones, the evil gods, whatever, is us, the audience, and like how if a horror movie doesn't go a specific way, the audience gets angry. Right? Like, they don't like it,
or it doesn't make money.
Yeah, exactly, and it's I like the metaphor they did on it. Like, Joss Whedon and Drew Goddard did a really good job on it.
And the rumor is that they wrote this movie in a weekend.
And if they did,
holy shit, good job.
Yeah, good job. I love how this movie was done.
Like, that's the thing. It's cliched on purpose in a humorous way, but then it goes against a lot of the cliches.
Exactly, like how because you have your five characters: the virgin, the fool, the whore, the scholar, and the jock.
Yeah.
Right? Like, and how the virgin can live or die, but the other four have to die.
Yeah.
They have to die.
And they have to die in a certain order too. The whore has to die first, and if the virgin dies, she has to die last.
Yeah. And
but I think those are the only order that matter. I think the whore dying first.
The whore dying first, and the virgin is like
either doesn't have to die, or she has to die last.
Yeah, exactly.
It's optional.
But especially how the fool in this movie, the stoner, he's the hero in the movie, basically. Mm-hmm. Like, constantly throughout the movie, I was rooting for him, and then you think you see him die. Like, first time watching that, I thought when he died, I was just like, no, and then like, he comes back, and you're like, yes, like, this guy's awesome, because there's the comedic humor in this movie. He's figuring everything out as it's being played out, and yeah, I know, like, even
he is the character that is the audience member. That's like most people relate to him. Even if you're not a stoner, you'd feel like you'd be that guy.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's like, everything about this movie, like how the people, like, they control the event, like they control the environment for these people.
Because they don't really control. The people still choose themselves, right?
Mm-hmm. They have to choose.
They have to choose themselves as part of the ritual. And so the people, all they do is, like you said, they control the environment.
Yeah, they control the environment, but they basically, like, channel these people to make sure that they do this. But, like, the stoner guy, Marty, he's just like, no, like, this is where I'm drawing the line. Don't read that fucking Latin. Like, don't do it. Like, and even before, like, when the cellar door opened and the Chris Hemsworth is like, must have been the wind that blew it open. He's like, that makes
what kind of sense? Yeah,
like,
it's like,
no.
The whole movie, he is the voice of reason.
Yeah, he is, and it's just, he's hilarious.
Yeah.
But also just like...
and it's all because he was smoking his own weed instead of the weed that they were
also,
supplying for him.
Yeah, then also like how they made references to like there's so many references to other movies and how they've made...
And the event in '98.
Yeah, the incident in '98, which is basically we figured out was the movie
between two
faculty.
movies.
Well,
I thought you said
it was between two movies, but I guess The Cabin was the other one, which I heard was just awful. I didn't do much research into it, but I heard The Faculty is the main one. The one, it has Elijah Wood in it. It has, I guess, Josh Hartnett in it. I've seen it before. It was a long time ago.
Yeah,
But
I've
basically,
seen it.
it has your 5 arc characters in it, right? Where you have the fool, the whore, the
Virgin,
jock.
the jock, and the
Yeah, exactly.
intelligent one.
Basically, none of them die, and they kill the monster, the aliens or whatever, through chemicals, and that's why they said
It was
it
the
was
chem
the chem
department's fault.
department's fault.
Yeah.
So that's the incident that they're referring to in 1998 was the movie The
Yeah, like
Faculty.
this movie is super meta.
Oh
It's
yeah.
all about like pointing a finger almost at the audience and saying like, "This is because of you," right?
Yeah, horror movies are the way they are because of the audience, because of you. You basically decided on how horror movies are turning out nowadays,
Mhm.
right?
And that's why they're all the same.
Exactly, right. And that's why I like this movie.
It's almost
because-
become a ritual sacrifice.
Yeah, like
And that's why I personally don't like horror movies. And that's why, like, they seem to be a lot of the same. Like, bad acting, cheesy premise, blood and guts.
yeah.
Whereas this month,
Oh,
I've watched
gross.
actually a lot more classic horror movies that actually,
We're
clearly,
the story.
yeah, these are why some people love horror movies. And I've been getting more and more introduced to them. And I've always loved Cabin in the Woods for the reason that it is so like meta, and that it just basically says like horror movies are so repetitive, and it's because of the people that watch them, and that's what they want. And when it's not that way, they either don't go see it, so they don't make money, so they don't make more like that, or they do see it and then they just shit on it, and then word of mouth makes it so that it gets
Yeah,
like bad
no.
ratings and all that
Yeah,
stuff, right?
exactly, and that's why I love like they were basically making a story. They were saying, hey, the audience, fuck off. Like you guys are the reasons why these movies are made that way,
Mhm.
and a lot of them are like it's just how this movie the metaphors and the themes to this movie I just absolutely loved. The combination of everything in this movie was awesome.
No, I agree. This is one of my, like, this is I almost don't want to call it a horror movie. It's a
There's a lot of comedy in it.
yeah, it's like a meta comedy with a horror background kind of a thing, like in a
Yeah.
horror setting.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
it's
yeah.
not really a horror movie. Like, it's almost like how Zombieland is a comedy in a horror setting, but it's not really a horror
Mhm.
movie. But this movie, Cabin in the Woods, is possibly my favorite movie in either the horror genre or a horror setting. Just for the fact, like, it's so well done and everything. It's funny, it's compelling, and it has a good, like, it has a message that is like,
Yeah, no, it's you don't.
We've already
see,
said the message
you
a
don't
bunch
see,
of times,
yeah, you
yeah.
don't see anything original like this at all, really. Anymore
no,
with
you
this
do
kind
see
of
it.
genre.
There's a lot. There's more original films made today than in any other period in history, but that's just because there's more movies made today than any
Mhm.
other period in history. People don't support independent films, and that is a little bit of what this movie is talking about. They only want to see this certain movie in this certain way. They want the same movie to come out every year.
Pretty much.
And that's like this movie in a way, even though it's based in a horror setting, this metaphor
It goes
works
so much further.
for any other genre, like just independent film in general. In a lot of ways, there's so many independent films that should make so much money because they're such good films, but they don't because people just don't watch them.
Mm-hmm. Whether
And then Transformers 4 makes $2 billion.
yeah, yeah, no, there's there's so much about this movie that I absolutely like,
Mhm.
or absolutely love. Like it's
And the performances are all incredible as well. Like,
they are.
you believe everybody, like, and people have a little bit of, first of all, the stoner has a real good big character arc in the movie,
Mm-hmm.
but not only that, because of the way that the movie works, all of the characters are drugged by the
Yeah, they
people
use-
doing it, so
they-
they change their personalities a little bit. And at the start, in the opening scene before they go on the trip, they're a little bit different. You can tell
Mhm.
they're not necessarily these stereotypical characters yet. But then as the movie goes on, they become more and more stereotypical and fitting into their certain stereotypes. Chris Hemsworth becomes more of just the dumb jock, even though at the start of the movie he recommends a physics book to this chick. I'm pretty sure it was a physics book.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, this one's a lot better. You'll get more out of it and stuff. And it's because he has a full academic scholarship to college.
Yeah, like
but,
he's majoring in sociology, and
Mhm.
like even with the girl who's supposed to be the dumb blonde, they put a chemical in her hair dye
yeah.
to make her the more typical dumb blonde, and like they were changing the environment and putting pheromones in the air and all that sort of stuff to change
Manipulate
these
everybody.
make them into these stereotypical characters
Yeah.
that you see in all these horror movies, right?
And so
And-
the actors did a good job of playing both sides when they're their true selves at the start, and you also believed them as these dumb characters and stuff, and these
Mhm.
stereotypes, right?
No, and like the first time watching the movie, like first time going into the movie, I thought this was your typical teen
Yeah.
slasher. And then when everything's going on, like you don't really know what's going on. Like first time watching, you don't really know what's going on. Like other than they're kind of controlling these events down below. These people are controlling the events up above, and
Mhm.
you're just kind of like, oh, like I understand, but I kind of don't. And as the first time watching it, as like I guess the what you would thought would have been the main
The end.
the main
When you
story,
think it would end,
it
it
doesn't.
seems like that's a short movie, and you're
Mhm.
like, this is a weird movie. But then that's when it gets really, really good
because
for the first time you've watched it,
yeah,
right?
because
you didn't know what
you
really
see,
was going
you see
on.
Marty the stoner come back and save the virgin's life, and he takes her to the elevator that goes down below
Yeah.
to like the control center, and he's just like
They let out. They act.
yeah,
well,
and they
yeah,
basically
they
you basically
which
see,
you also mentioned. Why do they have a purge button? Like,
yeah, that was one thing. It's just like, why do they have a purge button to let all these things out into the control center?
Yeah.
It's just like but I can let it go because
It's such a great movie.
it's such a good
Everything
movie.
else is so good.
Yeah,
That's
but
the only
at the
real.
same time though, like when you
non-logical
go
part.
down and you see a lot of the other monsters, you see how they're like referencing other movies
No,
and
it's
stuff
true.
like that, right? Like how this is talking about how basically like
Like there's those
let's
people
say-
in masks that look like the
people out of
strangers
the
or whatever.
Strangers, and then there's that one dude with like the blades coming out of his head. He kind of looks
A
like
little bit like Hellraiser.
He kind of
That's what the ball,
yeah.
the orb reminds me of that movie for some reason.
Yeah, no, and it's
And then there's there's the werewolf, which is like
your classic,
whatever American
yeah.
Werewolf in London, the
Yeah,
classic.
There's tons. So I guess there's what's that new one with Benicio del Toro? Anyways, no, like they're playing homage to all these other horror movies that they've made in the past, and they're basically saying that like these people have created all these horror movies and all that sort of stuff to please us
Mhm.
because they're always trying to do it in the classic way, right? But then Marty disrupts that all. And basically, because this movie didn't end the way most horror movies should have, it angers the gods.
And
in
it
a
wasn't
way,
just
they're
because of
poking
this
fun
movie.
but they were poking fun at the audience, basically saying like, "Ha, we made the ending to this movie different than how most horror movies should be." Like it was kind of like in some ways, it's kind of like a big middle finger to your normal horror
Mhm.
audience who like that just same style every time.
Yeah.
Right?
And it's also, like you said, it's their fault, but it's also the fault of every country failed,
Mm-hmm.
right? So they were just the last chance, and they also failed.
Mm-hmm. No, there's just so many things about this movie. I like again, like it has such deep meaning. Rather, like if you go into this movie and you just see it for just the visuals, then you might not get as much of it. Like not get as much out of it, as opposed if you're actually thinking about the deeper meanings and the messages that this movie is trying to send across to you, right?
But all in all, even if you don't get the deeper meanings, it's still an enjoyable movie, and it's funny, and it's, I'm sure, like, it'd be scary to some
You
people.
still have your horror, right?
Yeah,
You still
like
have
it
your
still
blood,
has horror
You
moments.
still got your blood. You still got your boobs.
There's a couple jump scares. It's got the
Yeah.
classic horror tropes.
Yeah, exactly, and they play homage to that. But at the same time,
It's a lot more.
It's a lot more. If you look at it, like maybe first time watching it, maybe you didn't get it. go back, watch it, look for all these deeper meanings, and you will see that there's more to this movie than just what you see.
Yeah.
Right. So
Definitely.
if we had to rate it,
I'll let you go first. Yeah, it's rating time.
I'm gonna give this
The
movie
least favorite time of the review.
I don't know. This one I kind of am happy to rate because
I just don't like rating things.
I know I don't like rating things either. But this one, because I enjoy it so much, I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10 just because of how well done it was. 8 out of 10 for me.
Yeah, that's a pretty good number. Yeah, I'll give it 8 out of 10 also.
Like, if
I'll,
you go
I'll
back-
call you.
If you go back and look at like any of our other horror movie ratings that we've done so far, I think 8's the highest we've done so far.
I don't know. I probably rated Interstellar like 10 out of 10.
I mean, I said horror movies.
Oh, out of horror movies, yes. I'm
8
sure.
is a high one. This is probably the highest we've had
I
for
think so.
all of the horror movies that we've reviewed so far. So
Could be. Let us know in the comments if we're wrong. And let us know what you think of Cabin in the Woods. Let us know your rating, I guess, even though I think ratings are dumb. More importantly, just write a little blurb about what you liked and what you didn't like. Overall, what did you think of the movie? Because your thoughts are almost more important than ours. Maybe not more important. I like my thoughts a lot. But anyways, that's going to be it for us. Thanks for watching. Never stop learning.